Russia is a land of mysteries, and sometimes those strange moments are captured on camera. So from mummified beasts to literal aliens, here are 20 mysterious photos taken in Russia that shocked the world. 1. 18,000-year-old puppy. This is Dogor, an 18,000-year-old pup found in Siberia's permafrost, whose name means friend in the Yakut language. Discovered in 2018 near the Indigirka River, this prehistoric pup has left researchers scratching their heads. DNA tests show it's neither fully a dog nor a wolf, making it a possible ancestor of both. Remarkably well preserved, Dogor's features, like its nose, whiskers, and even milk teeth, are intact. It's believed the pup was just 2 months old when it died, though the cause remains unknown. Scientists at Sweden's Center for Paleogenetics ran DNA tests, but still couldn't determine if Dogor was a dog or wolf, which suggests it might be from a time when the two species were closely linked. This discovery is especially exciting because it dates back to a key period in canine evolution, when early dogs were emerging and some wolf species were dying out. More research is planned to dig deeper into Dogor's DNA, which could provide clues about how dogs and wolves first split. 2. Zombie worms. Scientists recently revived a female microscopic roundworm that had been frozen in Siberian permafrost for 46,000 years, and now it's having babies. This ancient worm, called Panagrolimus colomaensis, reproduces through a process called parthenogenesis, which means it doesn't need a mate to produce offspring. The worm had survived for thousands of years in a state called cryptobiosis, where all its biological functions, like reproduction and repair, completely paused. During cryptobiosis, life is basically put on hold until conditions improve, allowing organisms like this worm to survive extreme environments for incredibly long periods. Researchers identified the worm as a new, previously unknown species. Their study explains how the worm's ability to shut down its biological functions may have allowed it to survive for tens of thousands of years. As climate change melts more of the permafrost in the northern hemisphere, ancient life forms like this worm are being uncovered. Scientists are even bringing some of these zombie viruses back to life to study them. It's amazing and a little creepy to think these microscopic creatures can wake up after being frozen for millennia and start living again. 3. A mysterious creature. In a small Russian village called Kabansk, a mysterious creature's body was found in the snow. Locals claimed it was the corpse of an alien. The body was small, with a large head and thin limbs, matching the typical alien image we see in movies or TV shows. The discovery went pretty viral all across the internet, and soon UFO enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists were convinced it was proof of extraterrestrial life. The Russian authorities, however, had a different explanation. They said it was nothing more than the remains of a deformed or miscarried animal, possibly a cat or rabbit. But not everyone was convinced, and some locals even reported strange lights in the sky before the body was found, adding more mystery to the story. Despite the official statements, the find continues to fuel rumors and debates about life beyond Earth. The incident remains one of those strange tales that capture the imagination, whether you believe in aliens or think it's just a mix-up. 4. Siberian mine. Mummy. While digging in the icy ground at the diamond mine in Siberia, miners made a very interesting discovery. They found the mummified remains of a mysterious animal that looks like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. Found in the sandy sediment of the Udakny diamond mine, 1,160 miles northwest of Yakutsk, the creature is puzzling locals and experts alike. Described as a monster mummy by the miners, the animal has a long spine, paws, tufts of fur, and a mix of canine and molar teeth. Despite some wild theories floating around, including claims it's a new species of dinosaur, experts think the creature is likely a mammal, possibly a fox, pine marten, or otter. Some even suggest it could be a small dog or wolverine. The mummified animal is now headed to Yakutsk for further examination by scientists. The Udakny mine, whose name fittingly means lucky, is known for its massive diamond deposits. It was discovered in 1955 and mining started in the 1960s. Interestingly, a 1.7 kiloton atomic bomb was detonated there in 1974 to help create the basin for the mine. The diamonds in this area are found in a type of rock called kimberlite, which forms vertical pipe-like structures due to gas bursts through the Earth's crust. While the sandy deposits in the mine date back to the Mesozoic era, about 252 to 66 million years ago, the mummified animal is probably much younger, preserved by Siberia's freezing, dry climate, where winter temperatures can plunge to 46.5. Bizarre ice circles. In April 2009, including a few strange circular areas of thin ice at the southern end of Lake Baikal in Siberia. The area, which was about 4.4 kilometers wide, appeared as a dark circle and was the first sign of ice breakup in that part of the lake. This circle was first noticed on April 5th, and a similar one was found near the center of the lake, both visible until April 20th. Lake Baikal, known for being the world's largest and deepest freshwater lake, is in a remote and cold region where ice can last until June. The odd circular patterns in the ice have been seen before, with records dating back to 1985 and 1994. The circles likely form due to convection currents, where warmer water rises to the surface. However, it's still unclear what causes the convection in these specific spots, especially in the deep waters of the southern end of the lake. The circles come and go quickly as the ice changes rapidly in spring. Sometimes the ice can melt in a day and refreeze overnight. By April 27, 2009, the circles had vanished. 6. The Siberian Ice Maiden. Back in 1993, Russian archaeologists, led by Dr. Natalia Polosmak, found a mysterious mummy in a block of ice on the Ukok Plateau near the Russia-China border. After hearing about grave robbers, the team decided to dig at the site. To their surprise, they uncovered a frozen tomb holding the remains of a young woman now known as the Siberian Ice Maiden, or the Ukok Princess. The Ice Maiden was a 25-year-old woman, impeccably preserved by the permafrost, with intricate tattoos on her body. Buried with 6 horses, arranged to signify her importance, she belonged to the Pazyryk people, a nomadic tribe from 2,500 years ago. Her tattoos included a griffin-like creature on her left shoulder, along with images of a sheep and a snow leopard. Back then, tattoos were not just for decoration. They held deep cultural and symbolic significance. Archaeologists also found other items, including saddle parts, fur, and a preserved feast of fatty mutton. Interestingly, the Ice Maiden's head was shaved, and she wore a wig topped with gold ornaments. She also carried a makeup bag with eyeliner made from iron phosphate. Her well-preserved skin was treated with herbs and wool, indicating how much care went into preparing her for the afterlife. After 20 years of research, scientists now believe the Ice Maiden died from breast cancer, likely complicated by a fall from a horse. Cannabis found in her tomb suggests she used it for pain relief, a practice common among elite nomads of that era. Despite the insights gained, the excavation sparked controversy in the Altai region, where locals saw the removal of mummies as disrespectful. Some believe it brought bad luck, and to this day, many oppose further excavations. Even though the Ice Maiden's body has been returned to the region, debates about her cultural significance and origin continue. 7. Ancient frozen mammoth. It's not every day a well-preserved woolly mammoth mummy is found frozen in the ice, but let's just say researchers were very excited to study it. They hoped it would help answer questions about why mammoths went extinct. It was clear the mammoth was pretty young when it died, probably around 3 or 4 years old. Even though it had been frozen for thousands of years, some parts of the mammoth were still in great condition. Its body was twisted and contorted after all that time in the ice, with its head tilted to one side and its legs sticking up in the air. Despite the odd position, features like its footpads and thick, strawberry blonde hair were incredibly well preserved. You could even see the texture and color of its hair, which was rare for something this old. This discovery was a big deal because it gave scientists a rare chance to study a mammoth in such a good state. 8. The Shiga Idol. In a quiet corner of a little-known Russian museum in the Ural Mountains stands the world's oldest wooden sculpture, a towering totem pole called the Shiga Idol. This ancient relic, dug up by gold miners in 1890, is made from larch wood and carved with strange geometric patterns and faces. The top face, in particular, looks a bit unsettling, with a wide-open mouth that seems to demand attention. Initially thought to be a few thousand years old, the Shiga Idol was carbon-dated in 1997 to be about 9,500 years old, but this was met with skepticism. People doubted that such complex carvings could come from Stone Age hunter-gatherers. However, new testing in 2014 pushed the date back even further to around 11,600 years ago, making it older than both the Egyptian pyramids and Stonehenge. Recent studies have pushed the idol's age back another 900 years, placing it among the earliest art of Eurasia. This discovery challenges the old belief that complex art only came from Europe's early farming communities and highlights the advanced skills of hunter-gatherers. The Shiga idol was found in a peat bog, which helped preserve it over thousands of years. When it was first discovered, it was in 10 pieces and displayed alongside other ancient finds in Yekaterinburg, Edinburgh. Over time, the idol's reconstruction has been updated, though some parts have gone missing. Despite initial doubts, the Shigear idol now stands as a significant piece of prehistoric art. 9. 40,000-year-old wolf head. A 40,000-year-old wolf's head, perfectly preserved in Siberia's permafrost, was discovered. Local treasure hunters who had been searching for mammoth ivory near the Terechtiak River in Yakutia stumbled upon this amazing find and took it to the Academy of Sciences of the Republic of Sakha. Albert Protopopov, who headed the mammoth studies department there, told CNN that while frozen wolf cubs had been discovered before, finding an adult wolf's head with its soft tissue still intact was a first. This discovery was unique because it was the first time scientists had found such well-preserved soft tissue from a grown wolf that had been frozen for 40,000 years. At the time, scientists were working on creating a digital model of the wolf's brain and skull, and a team in Stockholm was analyzing its DNA. They were also looking into an ancient cave lion cub found in the same region, which was preserved in the permafrost. 10. Whalebone Alley. On Yitigran Island, near the Chukotka Peninsula in Siberia, there's a pretty crazy site known as Whalebone Alley. For about 550 meters, massive whale bones are lined up along the coastline in what looks like a path, but no one's quite sure who set them up or why. Whalebone Alley is often compared to famous landmarks like Stonehenge and the pyramids of Giza. It has around 50 whale bones, all from bowhead whales. Each bone weighs about 300 kilograms and includes jawbones, ribs, and vertebrae. They're arranged in a line spaced a few meters apart and buried deep with stones and soil for stability. Most bones are grouped in twos or fours. The site also has pits that might have been used to store meat, and some blubber remnants were found in the soil. These bones date back to the 14th to 17th centuries. Discovered in 1976 by Soviet archaeologists, Whalebone Alley is located in an area traditionally inhabited by the Yupik people, who live in Alaska and Siberia and are similar to the Inuit. However, the Yupik don't have a clear explanation for the site's purpose. Further expeditions in the late 1970s and early 1980s found no other bone deposits, just over 120 meat pits around the area. Some think the alley might have been a place for worship or ceremonies. Bowhead whales were crucial to Yupik life for centuries, providing food, fuel, and materials. The island's Yupik name, Sikliuk, means meat pit, suggesting Whalebone Alley was likely a place for processing and storing whale meat, especially during tough times like the Little Ice Age. 11. Black snow. Back in 2019, in Siberia's coal mining area, residents shared videos online showing entire streets and districts covered in black snow, which many say points to a serious environmental disaster. One video from Kiselyovsk in the Kuzbas region shows a woman driving through a snowy landscape that looks coal-black, covering playgrounds and building courtyards. The scenes have been called post-apocalyptic by Russian media. The black snow comes from coal dust blown from nearby open-pit mines. This pollution is harming the health of the 2.6 million people in the region, where life expectancy is about 3 to 4 years lower than the national average. Cancer rates, child cerebral palsy, and tuberculosis are also higher than average. Some Russian activists are urging Britain to stop buying Russian coal, which makes up a large portion of the UK's imports. They say the dust contains harmful metals like arsenic and mercury, and that coal dust is made worse by poor handling and regulations. Protests about these issues are increasing as locals use the internet to rally support. 12. Dolmens of Russia. In the northwest Caucasus, from Abkhazia to the Taman Peninsula, there are thousands of ancient stone structures called dolmens, which locals refer to as ispon, or houses of dwarves. These megalithic structures were built during the early Bronze Age, roughly between 4000 and 2000 BC. Dolmens were made with stone blocks that were either carefully shaped and stacked or carved out of rock. They typically have a large roof slab covering the chamber and an entrance formed by projecting blocks and the overhanging roof. Most dolmens have a central hole in the facade, which can be square, semicircular, or oval. There are 4 main types of dolmens: slab, built up, semi-monolithic, and monolithic. Their shapes can be square, trapezoidal, rectangular, or round. Some dolmens are decorated with patterns like zigzags, triangles, and circles, and some even have depictions of pairs of breasts. The stones used for building were often carried from nearby quarries. About 3,000 dolmens have been found in the western Caucasus. They were mainly used for burials, though some believe they might have also been been used for tribal ceremonies. The pottery found at these sites is similar to that of the Mykop culture, but also shows some unique styles. 13. Flying Girl. In this creepy video, a girl seems to be floating above the ground in a Russian forest. The footage shows someone walking their dog when the dog suddenly runs off into the woods. The person follows and finds a strange scene. A girl in a red cloak appears to be hovering above a man dressed in orange. As the person tries to film, their dog gets scared and the phone drops. In the end, we see the man in orange pulling the girl down and they both run away. Some people think this could be a ghostly encounter or a supernatural event. Others think it might be a staged performance, like street performers doing tricks. The video quickly went viral, with viewers debating what it really shows. 14. The Sea Angel. We've always heard about mythical creatures, but seeing them for real is a completely different thing. Sea angels are tiny sea slugs, up to 7 centimeters long, with wing-like appendages that help them glide through the water. They move gracefully, almost like they're dancing, and their semi-transparent bodies let you see their internal organs and gonads without needing special equipment. What's cool is that sea angels are hermaphrodites, meaning they can change sexes. Their mating dance, while looking a bit like a middle school dance-off, is actually quite beautiful. They stay locked together, spinning for hours to the sounds of the ocean. These creatures are born with shells, but lose them as they grow. They transform into their adult form in a way similar to how caterpillars become butterflies. But don't be fooled. Sea angels aren't as sweet as they look. They're carnivorous and feed on sea butterflies, which are also pteropods. Sea angels hunt sea butterflies with impressive speed. They use their tentacle-like buccal cones to pull the butterflies out of their shells and into their mouths, making them quite the predators in the deep sea. 15. Ancient Horse. A 42,000-year-old foal found frozen in Siberian permafrost has given scientists an amazing find: the oldest liquid blood ever discovered. This discovery is huge because it's the second time an Ice Age animal has yielded liquid blood. Back in 2018, researchers managed to extract liquid blood from a 32,200-year-old mammoth, but this new foal's blood beats that record by 10,000 years. The foal, a member of an extinct species called the Lena horse, was found last year in the Batagaika crater in eastern Siberia. It was a baby, only 1 to 2 weeks old, and stood about 39 inches tall when it died, likely from drowning in mud. The icy permafrost did an incredible job preserving the foal's skin, hair, and even some urine inside its bladder. Semyon Grigoriev, head of the Mammoth Museum at Northeastern Federal University in Yakutsk, and his team are thrilled about this find. They're hoping to clone a mammoth and other animals from the Pleistocene era, and now they're even trying to clone the foal. However, Grigoriev notes that it's a long shot. 16. Dancing Forest in Russia. Between the Baltic Sea and the Curonian Lagoon lies a forest where it looks like the trees are dancing. On the Kruglaya dune of the Curonian Spit, the dancing forest of Russia is filled with pine trees whose trunks twist and turn into loops, spirals, and bizarre shapes. The cause of these strange formations remains a mystery. The trees were planted in the early 1960s to stabilize the shifting sand dunes, but ironically, some believe the unstable sand is what caused these pines to look so unstable themselves. Locals even call it the drunken forest. Scientists have tried to figure out why the trees grow this way, but there's no clear answer. The most popular theory is that pine shoot moth caterpillars damaged the trees' buds when they were young, causing them to grow at weird angles. As the trees tried to straighten themselves to reach the sun, their twisted shapes were locked in place. Other theories blame the strong winds or human interference, while some supernatural explanations suggest the forest sits at a spot where positive and negative energies clash, twisting the trees in the process. Local legends also claim that centuries ago, trees here were made to dance to demonstrate the power of the Christian God. 17. The Lena Pillars. The Lena Pillars are one of Russia's most stunning natural wonders, located along the banks of the Lena River in Siberia. These towering rock formations stretch over 150 miles and stand as tall as skyscrapers, some reaching heights of up to 300 feet. Formed over millions of years, they're made mostly of limestone, marlstone, and dolomite. The shapes of the pillars are incredibly varied. Some look like jagged spikes, others resemble massive columns or ancient ruins. This makes the area look like a fantasy landscape brought to life. These unique formations came about through a combination of freezing and thawing cycles, along with erosion from wind and water. The freezing process in particular helped crack the rock, giving rise to the dramatic shapes we see today. The linear pillars are so impressive that they were designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2012. But it's not just their appearance that's cool. The area around the pillars is also rich in prehistoric remains. Fossils of ancient animals, including mammoths, woolly rhinos, and even some early human remains have been found here. These finds give us a glimpse into a time when Siberia was much warmer and filled with diverse life. 18. Meteor explosion. On the morning of February 15, 2013, residents of Chelyabinsk, Russia, experienced a rare and terrifying event: an asteroid exploding in the sky. Thanks to the popularity of dashcams in Russia, the meteor's bright streak and the massive flash from its explosion were captured on video. The asteroid, about 66 feet wide, hit the atmosphere at 42,690 miles per hour, burning up and exploding about 19 miles above the ground. The explosion was so powerful that it briefly outshined the sun and released energy equal to 500 kilotons of TNT, 30 times more than the Hiroshima bomb. Thankfully, it exploded high enough that most of the energy was absorbed by the atmosphere. Still, the shockwave caused serious damage, breaking windows and injuring 1,500 people across 6 cities. Most injuries were from flying glass, after curious people looked outside, only to be hit when the delayed shockwave shattered their windows. 19. Stone spheres. Polar expeditions often uncover things that are hard to explain. One such place is Champ Island in Russia's Franz Josef Land, where visitors have reported seeing some truly mysterious stuff. Champ Island is a remote spot located hundreds of miles north of Russia's mainland. It's part of Franz Josef Land, an archipelago of uninhabited Arctic islands. What makes Champ Island stand out is the strange stone spheres scattered across its surface. These spheres come in all sizes, from tiny ones smaller than ping-pong balls to giant ones several meters wide. So, what's the deal with these stones? No one really knows for sure, since the island is uninhabited and lacks any human records to explain their origin. One common theory is that these stones are concretions. They form underwater when sediment mixes with an organic object like a leaf or a shell, creating a ball-like shape over time. The chemical reaction makes the stone grow in layers around the core, often resulting in a perfect sphere. You can find similar stone balls in various places around the world, and people sometimes crack them open hoping to find fossils inside. On Champ Island, these spheres are still numerous because the island hasn't seen much human activity over the years. However, they have been worn down by the harsh Arctic weather and environmental changes. 20. Strange sea creature. A huge and mysterious creature washed up on a beach in Russia, which got quite a reaction. According to the specialist, this smelly, hairy sea monster that was at least 3 times larger than a human appeared on the shore of the Bering Sea, on the Pacific side of the Kamchatka Peninsula. The sighting was first reported by Svetlana Dyadenko, who took photos and videos of the beast. In her YouTube video titled Kamchatka Sea Monster, viewers saw an animal with gray and white fur and a possible tail or tentacle, but no clear head or other identifiable parts. Dyadenko noted that the creature was covered in tubular fur, which is hollow and similar to the fur on a polar bear, according to Gizmodo. She wondered if it might be an ancient creature and called on scientists to investigate this oceanic mystery. She also mentioned that the creature was too heavy to be moved or dug up, as part of it had been covered by sand. Comments on the post suggested it could be the remains of a woolly mammoth from thawing glaciers, or perhaps an octopus or giant squid. Are there any other bizarre photos of mysterious things from Russia? What are they trying to hide from the rest of the world?